Welcome to another episode of 8G Thoughts. Here I am again with this series where I talk about MPL PH Season 13 and I get the chance to interview some of the players, maybe even coaches in the future, the near future. And in this particular video, I will just be live translating the interviews that I did. So we're going to be talking about Nathzz in this case because of how impactful he was. I was really amazed, and I have this hot take that so far, after 3 weeks and actually 4 weeks of MPL PH Season 13 action, that Nats is the best player individually. We're just talking about like best individual player. Like when we're talking about mechanics, when we're talking about macro, when we're talking about like hero pool and impact to the game, so far he is the best. That's my hot take, right? And I'm gonna be explaining that later, maybe in the future videos, because now we are pressed with time, right? So if you've seen the video before this one, when I was able to talk to Escalera and just talk about the Onyx Philippines' rise in the standings. This is similar to that. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna be live translating the interview that I've had, and just to explain to all of the viewers out there, I'm doing this because one, I don't have the time, and two, I don't have the money to make English subs yet. Because the not having the time to do it means that you have to hire someone else, which also I don't have the luxury of. And because we are doing this hopefully like every week, we want to make sure that we publish it as soon as possible. So what I'm doing here is to just rely on my own live translation so that we kind of save time. That means that this will be a little bit long, and maybe draggy for other Filipino viewers out there, but this will be, I guarantee you, beneficial to all of the international fans of MPL PH Season 13, and hopefully also to the Filipino fans. I hope that you're also excited about this. So let's cut to the chase. Actually, this is my interview with Nathzz, right? So just to give a little bit of of context for all the viewers out there, Nathzz has been performing so well, as well as RSG. It wasn't a good start though. It was a losing streak for RSG, but then they eventually won four straight series ever since week number 2. So their win streak started week number 3. I mean, because it was a losing. They were on a losing skid. They won 2 of their series in week number 2, and then eventually 2 after week number 4. But this particular interview happened in the middle of week 3 and week 4. So at this stage, Nats and the gang have only won 2 back-to-back games, but they were very impressive already. And the reason why I am saying that Nats has been the individually the best player so far of MPL PH Season 13 was because of his performance. His performance as a player, even when RSG is losing, was still on point, and the way that he's being crafty with the Benedetta, then eventually with Arlet, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy to think that this is how he performs. That's why I felt like he's individually the best player so far for MPL PH Season 13. And I also want to say that the overall performance of RSG is kind of hinged on whether or not Nathzz is online. And that has been very, very true for the past years, past seasons for RSG when Nathzz is playing. And I do have the chance to ask himself, like ask Nathzz, how he feels about that comment. So I'm very excited about this interview. Let's let's get it. All right, I'm gonna be playing the video and translating it
Simulan
live.
na natin. Simpleng basican lang natin, Sir Nats.
Sige.
Wala namang intro-intro to. Diretso na to sa
As
mga
usual,
sa'yo.
some tech
Ayan.
issues.
Yun.
It happens in
First
the
question, magandang naging resulta ng week 3 para sa inyo. Anong pakiramdam na finally ito na win
yeah.
streak na sa season
So
13?
basically, I ask him what he feels about that.
Una kong na-feel nun is
Let me fix the video for you guys. I don't know why it's
Record.
so
Sige.
black. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Like mga 4 Sige.
Wala namang intro to.
All right. Yeah, basically, I
Yun
just
nga, nagka-win streak na kami 2 beses. 2 times na. And
basically
gusto
had
namin
2 win
ituloy-tuloy
streak.
pa yun. Like mga 4 win streak or basta gusto
Hopefully he
namin 4
extends
win
it.
streak na this
He
time
wants to win
kasi
4 times.
galing kami sa talo last time nun eh. So, gusto namin i-keep up. Gusto
They want to
namin
keep the momentum
yung momentum pa ganun.
upwards. So he's
Okay.
very happy
Win
about
streak
the
namin.
win streak for sure.
Okay. Eto, mga almost personal na questions.
Okay.
Kasi
here we go
ngayon,
with the
first time,
personal
kung di ako
questions.
nagkamali, ito yung unang beses na meron ka ng kapalitan, meron ng same role.
So
And si Nibor.
Last time
basically, I'm saying that this is this is the first time that he has an actual substitute, like role per role.
may doon eh. Parang
Sino?
hindi ito yung first time.
So,
He says that it wasn't the
Season
first time
11
because
si Kirk.
there was a time where Kirk
yung
was
si
actually
Kirk.
part
Galing
of
Ah,
the
nga pala
tama.
sa inyo
RSG.
si Kirk.
Si Kirk.
Pero naglaro
But
ba
I
si
said
Kirk
that
ngayon?
Hindi siya
Maalala,
laro.
ayun.
that Kirk
So at
didn't
least
play,
ngayon,
but this time
ito
Nibor is
yung
actually
first time
playing.
na
That's why
hindi ikaw yung
I felt
naglaro
like this is the
actually.
first
So,
time that
medyo
he has
matagal
an
na.
actual
Anong
medyo matagal.
replacement.
pakiramdam
So I asked
na
him
meron
what he
kang
feels
kapalitan? Oo.
with having that
Yung iba kasi
sub.
parang napapaganda kasi na-challenge sila. So parang
So-
lalo silang
Yun.
gumagaling.
I mentioned that some players having a replacement kind of benefits them because because of that factor where you have some sort of challenge in a way. For example, there was a time where and this is based from my experience. So when Dilar had Ryota in the rotation, Dilar is noticeably, it is very noticeable that he also improved just because there's a lot of pressure that he needs to perform because otherwise he will be replaced. So that's basically the idea of the
Yan.
question.
So ikaw, ano paramdam mo?
So I asked him what he felt.
Una ko na feel nun is parang medyo parang competitive na tong yung
He felt that he
scrims
was
namin. Kasi
now
may kapalitan
competitive
na ako and
because he has a
kunyari may
replacement.
scrim kami. May manonood sa likod ko, ganun. Medyo nakaka-pressure.
So he feels a little bit pressured because sometimes now when they're screaming, there's someone behind him watching the way he plays.
Tapos, parang may ka rin, may ka-brainstorming ka rin.
But he likes it because there is also
Kumbaga, you will
because he has a brainstorming partner in the lane.
help each other talaga.
So he said
So,
that
yun.
you will help each other.
So sa tingin mo, overall, nakatulong pa na meron kang ganito na kapalitan, kumbaga?
Para
So I asked him does he think that having a replacement actually helped him? He immediately
sa
said
akin,
yes.
nakatulong talaga. Kasi,
That was
kumbaga ako
big
na,
help.
nagre-review kami. Tinutulungan niya ako and tinutulungan ko rin siya.
So they help each other during reviews or your review sessions, I mean.
Sinibor, ganun. Tinutulungan kami.
Nandiyan ba siya?
He looked back because Nibor was actually there as well.
Ito naman.
So yeah, if you don't know, this is the season where Nibor is part of RSG and he's also an explainer and he actually played for RSG, replacing Nathzz in specific games.
Eto, nung nagkaroon ng off-season, di ba?
We're gonna be talking about the off-season of
Ano
RSG.
yung una mong reaction
I asked him what
na
his first
si
reaction
Irad
was
ay wala na
when
dun sa
Irad left
team
the
nyo?
team.
Kasi may naalala akong interview na palabas nga yun sa MPL kay Light naman. Parang di daw niya alam, nagulat na lang siya.
I said
na
that Light
biglang
was surprised
ganun.
when Irad
Ikaw,
left.
ano ba yung unang
Because
reaction mo nung
Light had
nalaman
no
mo yung
idea.
balita na yun?
So I asked him what his first reaction
Una
was.
sa lahat, talagang nagulat ako kasi sabi ko, akala ko di alis sa amin si Rad nun and akala ko para magkapalitan sila ni kahit
So, first of all, he felt that he was really surprised because he knew that Irad will not leave the team, and he knows that because they already know that Demon Cat is kind of going back to the team, and he knows that they will be they will be subbing for each other.
Dalawa
Something like that.
dalawa pa rin sila
It's like a,
ikikip sa RSG.
yeah, Irad will be
And
kept
yun,
in
nagulat
RSG.
din ako na
And he
pagkatapos
was
ng
surprised.
MSC run namin, ay, MPLA pala. MPLA run namin, biglang nabalita namin na si Irad daw kinuha ng RRQ. And yun,
So he was very surprised because right after their MPLI run, and they were very successful in that regard. I mean, very dominant win, very dominant championship. Demon Cat is back. They felt like they're back in their MSC form, and he was caught off guard because all of a sudden Irad is now being recruited in RQ.
nagulat ako kasi
So I was surprised.
like gusto bang makasama si Irad sa isa pang team, ay sa isang season pa.
And Nathzz basically said that he wanted to still be with Irad for another season.
Gusto kong i-try pa nakasama si Irad.
He still wanted to try
Nalungkot na rin at the same time.
it with Irad, and he was
At the same
also
time,
sad at
medyo
the same
tanggap
time.
mo na kasi ganun talaga. May
Oo,
mga,
ganun din kasi.
And he
Pro
mentioned
talaga.
like we talked about
ano naman yung
the
pirate?
fact that it's natural that at the same time you have to accept it because that's part of being a pro team.
Random na bumalik dun si Kusei tapos si Demon kahit sakto.
So the context here is I was hanging out with them back in MPLI, in Indonesia in the hotel. I was with Baloy, with Marky, with Nathzz. Light was there. Kusei was also there. Luke was there. Like he's the only non-Filipino. Right? We were just hanging out. I think at least 2 nights we were hanging out. And even when they arrived in the MPL, I also hang out with Nathzz, with Coach Theo. We were having so much fun. We were exchanging stories, and yeah. I asked him like, so how did it feel that Demon Kite and Kusei is back? Because we were also hanging out in Indonesia anyways. It happenstance, obviously.
Lagi mo pang kasama si Kusei nun sa ano.
He
Ano
was
sa,
always
sa,
with
sa,
Kusei.
mga, sa mga viewers dyan, nag-hangout kasi kami nito nila Nuts eh. Nandun sa,
Sa
sa
MPLA.
MPLI.
They were hanging out in MPLA,
Magkasama pa
basically.
tayo.
Oo.
That's the story.
Ano sa paramdam nung kay
I
Kusei
asked
at kay
him
Demon Kite?
how it felt like when
Nung
Demon
dumating
Kite
si
and
Kite,
Kusei back.
masaya
He's
ako
back.
para sa akin. Kasi champion kami nun eh, MPLA. So parang ano namin to, revenge arc namin kumbaga.
So he said I was very happy that Demon Kite is back because of their good run during MPLI, and he said that it felt like it's their revenge arc. Well, I think he's talking about MPL PH in general, their revenge arc in MPL PH right after MPLI.
Kasi next season, magkakasama na kami eh. Si
They're
Champs
back.
eh.
The boys are back basically.
Masaya ako. And kung kay Kusei naman, parang yun lang, neutral lang naramdaman ko. Kasi ano eh,
And when Kusei was back, he felt very neutral about it because
ayaw mo si Emman.
Oo, syempre.
because he doesn't want Emman to leave.
Ano mo, doon mo si Emman. So,
But
ayun,
Emman
masaya na
left.
rin ako. Kumbaga,
Mm.
sa dalawang, kay Emman at kay Kusei, kumbaga, tawag dito, umalis
He was happy for both Emman and Kusei.
si Emman, umulit naman sa amin si Kusei. Yun, masaya na ako.
So,
So, ayun,
Eventually accepted it and
sakto,
became
na-open
happy.
up mo si Emman. Wala siya dun sa mga setup kong questions kanina. Pero siguro, dahil na-mention mo na rin eh. So,
Now we're talking
anong
about
masabi mo
Emman.
na, yun nga, si Emman nawala sa inyo, very important na player at napakalakas na player, di ba? At
So I asked him what he felt when Emman left, basically, because Emman was actually a really good player.
at the same
very
time, ano yung masasabi mo
important
ngayon
for
sa
the team.
performance niya?
And I
sa
also asked
iba-
Nats how he feels about Emman's performance in MPL ID, because Emman, we know for sure that he's doing so well in
Ang
Indonesia.
bansa.
Nung una talaga yung na-feel ko, sobrang na lungkot ako.
That was
Kasi,
very sad at the start
champion lang namin nung MPLA eh. And
when he first found out that Emman was leaving, he felt really, really sad, especially because they were fresh off of winning MPLI.
ako di kami magwawatak-watak.
And he thought that he will not be
And yun nga,
separated.
umalis na si Emma nun. Nung,
But then Emman left anyways.
ata nun, October. So wala lang magagawa talaga. Parang
So it was
happy na lang ako
October,
sa
but I
kanya.
think it's November.
And
and he
Hindi,
can't do anything about it.
at the same time, happy rin ako sa kanya kasi umalis sa comfort zone niya, ganun. And
But Nats felt very happy because Emman decided to leave his comfort zone. And we know that, there's always a positive effect of you leaving your comfort zone. So maybe they have been talking about it. Emman is a very talented kid. He's very young actually. Look up how old he is. I think he's the same age as Oheb, and he's now flourishing in MPL Indonesia, where we know that it's not a very comfortable spot to be in as a Filipino.
sa
Mm.
performance niya ngayon sa MPL is sobrang goods. Yun,
Super.
natuwa na rin ako.
Sobrang goods means basically very good. But if you use sobrang goods as a Filipino, that's not just very good. If you think about it, like direct translation is very good, but it's kind of beyond that. It's like when you said sobrang goods, when somebody says sobrang goods, it's like that means a lot. That means that's beyond just very good.
Oo.
Sobrang happy ako kay Evan ngayon.
And that's
Mm.
very happy for Emman.
November ata kasi November yung MPL di ba?
So I just said
Tama.
MPLI
November
was
pala,
November.
November. January pala. October.
January.
But that's
Ah.
actually finally confirmed, or just remember that it was actually January when Emman left. So that's also important to take note because that meant that after MPLI, if I'm not mistaken, RSG as a team rested. So end of MPLI was third week of November. Yeah, or around 20th. And then December happens, right? And so that's usually the break for the teams. That means that there was a long period of time where the members of RSG were like kind of separated, and then when they got back, now they find out that
January mo siya.
Oo.
the,
Ayun, it is what it is. Yun talaga, sabi nga natin.
Emman is no longer
Yeah,
part
players
of
come and go.
RSG.
Okay.
But it's just
Ano sa
natural.
tingin mo
Players
yung
come
naging
and go.
impact ngayon ni Kusei tsaka ni Demon Kite? Siyempre, iba na yung mga players, di ba? So, ano
So
yung
I
tingin
asked
mong
Nats what's the
importanteng
impact of Demon
itong
Kite
dalawang players
and
na to?
Kusei in the team, because there's there's a different dynamic
Impact ni
now that
Jose
they're
at
in.
si Kite. Si Kite yung pinaka biggest factor niya ngayon is yung shot goal. Natulungan niya kami ni Light. Kasi
So Nats's answer to that question is that Demon Kite's biggest impact is his contributions to the shot calling, because now Demon Kite helps both Nats and Light when it comes to shot calling.
before nun nung kay Irad medyo complicated Nahihirapan
Irad
pa
was a
kami.
little bit
Nung
complicated,
season 9
apparently, says Nats. Before, when it comes to shot calling, Irad's shot calling, I guess, there's lack of chemistry, or the term that he used was complicated. I don't know what that means. I can only assume that it's mainly the difference in approach when it comes to like Demon Kite's decision making, and obviously Irad's
Main kampi ko rin si Kite and isa rin siya
shot
parang
calling.
mga captain pagdating
So he said
sa
that he
sa in-game talaga.
So he said that he played with Demon Kite before, that he was teammates with Demon Kite before, before Demon Kite was loaned to RSG Malaysia. And he already knows how Demon Kite thinks.
Siya yung nag-help sa amin. Ayun,
And Demon Kite is
tinulungan
helping.
kami ni Kite sa in-game
Demon Kite helped in
communication.
in-game
And
mechanics.
kay Kusei naman,
And now when it comes to Kusei,
natulong ni Kusei is para sa akin yung yung mechanics niya in-game.
So-
Kumbaga sumasabay sa amin.
so he basically mentioned that for him, Kusei's contribution to the team is mainly Kusei's mechanics, right? So Kusei's mechanics, because apparently Kusei can keep up with their own mechanics, right? With Natz's and the other members of the team's mechanics.
And sa communication din, magaling
And
din si
communication.
Kusei. Kumbaga,
Apparently Kusei is very good at communication.
alam niya kung paano dalaw ng kalaban, ganon.
So what Nats meant about communication is relaying information, because apparently Kusei knows and can properly read the rotations of the enemy. So when the enemy, when he knows when the opponents will be moving towards his direction, or with the overall rotation of their opponents.
And lagi siya nagre-report.
He's
Dahil si
always
Emman
good
di
at
masyado
reporting.
nagre-report dito. Eh,
Ayan.
Wait,
Malay mo,
what?
ano, dalaw ng kalaban,
Mm.
gano'n. And lagi siya nagre-report. Dahil si Emman di masyado nagre-report dito.
Oh, so that's basically said that before Emman was not reporting as much, not reporting not reporting information as much as they wanted to, right? So for the uninitiated, basically it means like in pro team, like sometimes you really over communicate actually. Um like first skill usage of the battle spells, usage of uh the ultimate, last seen, what is the direction that he last saw his matchup or something like that, his own cooldowns, all of the things that you need to mention. You It kind of felt when you actually hear a pro team that's really good at communication, you would feel that they're over communicating, that there's so much information out there. So that's basically the context of what Nathzz is saying. That's why also we were both laughing in this case, because that's what we felt like. Yeah, Kuse is very good at communication. Emman wasn't talking as much. But that was yeah. He clarified that it was before, so we don't know how he communicates now with BTR.
ayan. Malay mo,
Medyo
di ba?
mas
Ngayon, nagbago na siya, di ba? Dun sa ano.
ayun nga, nagbago si Emman. Kaya
So
yan, ay,
it was before.
natulong rin
Now
kasi
it's
sa amin.
different. Yeah. Goods. Eto, interesting na question. Kasi pag sa mga cast namin, men, ang lagi
Mhm.
kong sinasabi pag pag
So
si
this is
Nats,
my
ano to
intro
parang
now for
Incredible
Nathzz.
Hulk. Because
Alam
I
mo,
call
aware ka ba
Nats
doon kay
the
Incredible
Incredible
Hulk?
Hulk.
Kilala mo ba yun? Yung,
Okay lang yung
yan,
gano'n.
di ba?
So he knows
Si,
Incredible Hulk, he
syempre,
says.
mahilig ka sa gagamba, pero para sa akin, Incredible Hulk. Yung
I
persona
told
mo,
him
yung
that
parang,
despite him
pag
liking spiders, he's not Spider-Man, that he was Incredible Hulk.
unleash, grabe, sobrang lakas parang ganun. Kaya lang,
So here, okay, I cannot remember what I said here. So basically, I described Nats as the Incredible Hulk, where when he's angry, when he's enraged, or he's in that mode, that he really carries the game basically. But sometimes when he's not in the zone, the team is not performing as much. That was my observation of RSG, and that's my observation of Nats, and it was very evident during MPL season 12 and season 11. Review those VODs, you would see it, and I think I have a lot of people agree with me, and also a lot of VODs that you look at when you're looking at RSG can prove that theory. However, I still asked him that question, and let's see
minsan
what he
parang
thinks about it.
kailangan pang gisingin. So, parang ganun.
Mm,
Pero pag nagising, grabe, malala talaga. So, ano yung opinion mo dun sa insights na yon?
So
Tapos,
ask
sa
him what's
tingin
the
mo
opinion
ba,
of the insight.
ganun kang klase na player?
Okay.
For me, parang true, ano siya, talagang true talaga. Kasi,
So Nats basically said that for him, it's very true.
kunwari, parang nasa zone talaga ako ng paglalaro. Para sa akin, kayang-kaya ko talaga bumuhat ng kampi.
So basically saying that if he is in the zone, for him, he can carry his teammates. If he's in the zone, he can carry his teammates. He said that.
And talagang kayang-kaya ko ipanalo yung game eh.
He
Kunyari,
can win the game.
tapos pag nasa parang bad mood naman ako, is parang yun, medyo pangit yung kakalamasan ng game.
So he says that if he's in the bad mood, so if he is in a bad mood, I mean that the result will be very bad.
So, para sa akin,
So he
100%
agrees.
totoo.
Yun.
100%
Pero, so,
true.
ganito na
he
lang.
says.
Ano yung nagpapagising sa'yo?
So I ask him,
ano yung nagpapa in the zone sa'yo?
so what puts you in that zone? What will make you in the zone? That's basically what I ask Nats here.
Hmm. Kumbaga ano, nagpapa sa'kin is
Mm.
kunyari mga nananalo na kami, like this
So
week,
momentum is
parang na-feel ko na ano, na, ito na yun na
mm.
kaya ko ulit ilabas ng ano, potential ko.
So what he said is that if he feels like they're already winning, if there's a momentum that they can ride on as a team, as they're winning, he now feels that okay, now I can show what I'm made of. Basically, that's what he said.
Mga ganun.
Okay. Wala naman parang special na ritual like kailangan nakapag-samgyup kami, kailangan meron.
So I asked him if there's a specific ritual that needs to be done so that the Incredible Hulk or the Incredible Nathzz will appear.
Isa
Kailangan
rin yung mga ganun, kaya nakakain ako ng masarap na magkain. Ganun, isa
Uh,
rin yun.
so he mentioned that yeah, sometimes it's like that when I eat good food. He
Okay.
says.
Ano mo favorite na food mo para
So I asked
yan ay
him what
padala
his
ng mga
favorite food is,
mga fans ng
so
RSG
that the RSG
para yun
fans
yung pampagising sa'yo.
can activate the
Starbucks ako.
Nats.
Yan, Starbucks.
Oh,
Sige,
so
may
he
papatigil
just mentioned it's just Starbucks. It's just coffee.
mo ako sa'yo na na yung
So it's just
favorite ka na
Starbucks
drink
and
sa
coffee.
Starbucks, yun baka magising ka nun.
Sige.
So I told him like, okay, next time I'll let you taste my favorite drink,
Okay.
which is barista drink.
So ngayon, sino sa
Ito.
tingin mo ang mga explainers ang nagpapahirap sa'yo at bakit? Pwede rin international kung sakaling gusto mong international. Pwede rin naman local. Pwede nga sa MDL kung sakali.
So I asked him, who's the explainer that makes it really difficult for him to play? Like, who's the biggest challenge when it comes to like explainers? And I told him like, it could come from MPL PH, could come from MPL ID or any other MPLs out there, could even come from MDL if that's the case.
Okay.
Sa akin talaga ngayon is si Flap para
So
sa
it
akin.
was Flap,
Kasi
naturally.
sa previous match namin, nakalaban namin sila, like medyo nahirapan talaga ako.
So he
And
said that
sobrang
like in
laki
their
ng
previous match, it
improve
was
meetup.
difficult. That they find it
Kumbaga,
difficult to deal with Flap.
previous match namin, nakalaban namin sila, like medyo nahirapan talaga ako. And sobrang laki ng improve meetup. Kumbaga,
So yeah, Flap was the biggest challenge in their previous I guess their previous matchup. It was because AP Brand versus RC happened already when this video was recorded, there was a recording. And he also said that Flap uh, had so much improvements. So I wonder what his basis was, and I don't know the answer to that. Maybe saying like maybe during the times where Flap was down, like season 9 when Nats actually and RSG won the championship back in season 9, and then comparing that to season 12 now, he's probably thinking about that, and he's probably relating that to the past seasons, like the improvements from Flap TZ.
last time kasi hindi siya ganun ka-aggressive sa dating eh.
Mm-mm.
Now, talagang siya eh, aggressive,
Mm-mm.
early dalaw sa team fight and no to target talaga.
Okay, so here's what Nats basically said. Now, before Flap TZ wasn't really aggressive in the laning stage, but now he is very aggressive in the laning stage, right? So Nats sees that as an improvement. His first rotations, first dalaw basically means like your first visit. So you in the Philippines we use that term to determine where you will first go to as the explainer. So typically that will be in the turtle, right? But Nats kind of understood that Flap TZ's first rotations were on point. And the last point that he also brought up was Flap TZ knows who to target, who specifically to target, who needs to be targeted as the explainer. And I believe that was super evident in M5, super evident in Games of the Future, and now in the first few games that we are seeing AP Bren Flap TZ is super on point when it comes to his target selection, which should be noted because Nathzz himself is very good at selecting his targets now. So there's a lot of respect between the two great explainers we have here in MPL Philippines.
Goods.
Kaya, nabibilib ako ito.
Kasi,
So, sino naman ang gustong
EMS
makalaban
by Flap.
o makalaban ulit ng RSG?
AP Bren.
AP Bren pa rin.
So I asked them like, who do you really wanna face? Then Nats immediately answered AP Bren automatic.
Oo.
Ano kasi, AP
Automatically.
Bren ngayon is, nasa, ano sila eh, momentum sila eh.
Bren is apparently the
And sila rin
momentum.
yung para sa akin, pinakamalakas ngayon sa MPL PH na team.
So that feels like AP Bren is the strongest team in MPL PH. And by the way, this was recorded after week 3. So when this was done, AP Bren is still on a win streak, so they haven't lost yet. AP Bren haven't met Onyx Philippines prior to this video.
Talagang para sa akin, threat.
They're the
Pero,
biggest threat
syempre,
apparently.
try namin best namin para matagal rin sila.
Oh, they're gonna
Lalabas
try
mo sa
their best
Incredible
to
Hulk
defeat them.
ulit. No? Make sure nyo guys na bigyan nyo ng Starbucks tong si
So, I
si
just-
Nats sa araw na yun.
I just said that we
Okay.
have to make sure
Thank you
that
so much,
Nats is
Nats.
there. Okay. So that is the end of the first part of the interview. So there still is about 14 more minutes of interview time with Nats. And I want you guys to be very excited about that. I'm still gonna be uploading that part, and it's mainly Nats explaining some of his top plays, right? So it's like I'm showed him some videos, and he explained to me what his mindset was with those videos, and he explained how they operate as a team, which is super duper amazing. Big takeaways from this interview with Nats is number one, he was very proud of Emman as well as Irad, and he felt sad that they really didn't prepare for that one. And obviously, the biggest takeaway here is how to activate the incredible Nats. And I'm just very happy that he agrees with that he agreed with my insights about him, because really that's what I felt about Nats, right? When he's good, he's really good. He's like the craziest player out there. And so far for MPL PH season 13, I stand by my word. So far, after 4 weeks of action, best individual player is Nats. Gotta have to watch his Benedetta gameplay. Super duper amazing, crazy player, crazy good player. And now, as of week 4 of MPL PH season 13, they have a 4 match win streak. Let's see how far they can go, right? So let me know in the comments who you want me to talk to in the next few videos that we'll have for the HG thoughts. Obviously, we're gonna watch MPL PH season 13 week 5 first, and then let's see how it goes. But maybe you want me to talk to other people or other players. Let me know in the comments. And also, let me know what you feel about this format. Although I would say that in the foreseeable future, this might be the actual format when it comes to interviews, because I really need to make sure that they're they're good for our international fans. So let me know how you feel about that, and if there's something you want to change about the format, and let me also know what you want to talk about in the future. For now, that's it. Thank you so much for listening to HG Thoughts in this episode, and let's wish Nathzz and RSG more successes in the future. That's it. Good game and good night.